So the question is, what happens when the line that separates fact from fiction disappears? Is there a specific list of steps you can follow to pull off the perfect crime? And how much evidence do you really need to find someone guilty? As always, these are just some of the themes I plan to touch on during today's story. I go by Frank Mizzi, and my goal here is to take storytelling to the next level. So I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm going to jump straight into it. Viewer discretion is advised, and we'll talk more details on the other side of the story because I'm ready. I know you're ready. So let's get into it.
Hey, tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm okay with it. Hey, what I'm about to take, there's no repaying it. Got the perfect plan, but they don't stay with it. Maybe that's the reason they don't get away with it. How to get away with murder, it's a fact you can't relax. Gotta cover all your tracks when you done. Every day be on your guard. When your house is made of cards, means your world can still collapse, and then you back on the run. But it's more like a story almost scripted. I can tell you all about that. And as you're bearing witness, like a visit to the outback, the spot and see this plot will maybe make your mind wonder. Now we're Australia bound. Let me take you down under. Not familiar with the city Perth? You about to learn a simple life. Any signs of strife couldn't quite discern. In the early 1900s, things start to take a turn. Gold mining got them gold finding money they can earn. Every man is on his own. They never stop and wait for you. More people call it home. That's how the population grew. That transformed the city. Major changes that were looming. Took the simple, made it modern. What was quiet, now it's booming. Beyond the city limits, every mile you gon' see much scarier terrain, about as wild as can be. It still could serve a purpose, something marvelous indeed. Cause the soil's so fertile, they could harvest what they need. But a problem was presented, left them probably annoyed. Try to strategize for it, like how do we avoid them doing damage? Every single night I'm paranoid, thinking all about the pests and how the crops will be destroyed. The rabbits did something vicious, left them suspicious. Came through and ate it all, like what they saw was so delicious. Put them in a jam, that's a loss they can't recoup. Here's the plan, protect the land and build a fence that's rabbit proof. 1901, broke ground, is going down a while. Who's taking on the task? I hope this work is now in style. Mapping out construction, do the paperwork and browse the files. Job is bigger than you think, fence a couple thousand miles. Slowly getting bigger, added sections that are new. It did its job as long as no more critters getting through. Wear and tear was a concern, since they worried about attrition. Boundary riders were hired to check on the condition. Now fast forward some years, progress has been seen. More riders come around, they working as a team. Some did it to escape and never mentioned pay. Some men came and went and they had no intent to stay. Then one day a new guy said, I wanna work the route. They said, okay, you can try. We never turn away recruits, but if you quit, at least let us know before you bail. Before long they had Louie out there on the trail. Although he was a wanderer and one that's known to roam, he would always keep in touch, quick to send a message home. They knew about this habit, so if anything would slow this, it wouldn't take long before his family would notice. The radio silence, the moment they were dreading. Someone has to know something, they asked around, the word was spreading. Thankfully they had a clue because they knew where he was heading. Had a feeling something happened and the panic started to set in. Contacted local police to plead their case, screaming there's no way that we can be at peace until he's safe. They weren't overly concerned, figured he would probably show. Understood the lifestyle, how the people come and go. Come to find out, this just the start. They were made aware about two more that were missing. Now the odds of that were rare. Maybe lives are on the line, no more time that they could spare. Spoke with riders at the station, maybe get some answers there. Hope the three decided to leave, maybe they're good. More likely something happened that we wish just never would. Need evidence, without that our options are diminished. Try to paint a picture, but this puzzle's way too far from finished.
So let's continue the conversation. As you can see in part one, I really wanted to walk you through what it was like during that time in Perth on the western coast of Australia. As the city grew, so did the value of the crops and the livestock that surrounded it. So a major way of life was threatened by these invasive rabbits and other animals that would wreak havoc on the farmlands. The decision to build this 2,023 mile-long fence was a crucial one if this thriving industry was to survive. It makes sense that boundary riders would be needed to ensure that timely repairs were made and to keep the fence's integrity. Louie was a New Zealander and his full name was Louie Carron. He arrived in the Murchison area in 1929 looking for work. Eventually, he ended up working at the Widgie station. Stations were established along the fence route, and this was one of them. But Louie wasn't his real name. His real name was Leslie George Brown. He was attempting to start a new life and came up with the name Louie Carron. He was a married man, and he traveled to Perth with a friend with the big dreams of raking in a lot of money as prospectors. This plan didn't exactly pan out, and that's how he ended up working at Widgie Station. When Louie failed to communicate with his family back home, they were quick to take action, but the police did not have the same reaction. They were very familiar with how common it was for folks to just not stick around. They had no reason to really think something more sinister had happened. But when they learned that 2 more men were missing, their perspective quickly changed. But that's where I got to leave it for now. Of course, there's a lot more to this story, but that's going to have to wait until part 2. If you enjoyed part 1, though, why not hit the like button, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss out as the story continues. I appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with me here on the second story. So until part 2 comes, be safe. Peace.